was an instrumental version of my 12-string version of Texas Blues, and the 12-string version is on a 12-string tuned down to B, standard tuning but tuned down to B, so not many people have a guitar like that, so I thought I'm going to do the lesson as an instrumental and on a 6-string. But if you have a 12-string, you can play it on that instrument as well, and all the information is given in this lesson. Please do open the video description if you're interested in the tab. I tapped out the introduction, the verse, and the 2 solos, so that will be a big help, I think. Of course, there are several influences in this song, and the main one is Mance Lipscomb's version of a song called Texas Blues. He also recorded it under the name of Blues in G, and I put some links to those songs in the video description. The main difference is that I use an alternating bass and Mance used a monotonic bass for the song. And only the intro is what Mance plays. After that I went my own way. And also for the solos, of course. So I'm in standard tuning. Here are my E's. So let's do the introduction, which is a full 12-bar blues. So we're starting with a walk into our G chord. Notice the muting also, giving it a little bit of swing. Notice so the muting with the right hand there. And one of the signature licks of the whole song is all kinds of movements between those first 2 strings and open and the 3rd fret, and you can have a lot of variation there. And you see the pinky is doing a lot of work there. You have to, in one beat, jump from the 1st to the 2nd string. G7, and then I'm going to the C, and I arpeggio there. First my fingers and then followed by the temp. Or you can only do the temp, of course. Back to our G, G7, D for 2 beats, just that 3rd fret D there, 2nd string, and vibrato. Back to our G chords. Sliding to the 5th fret, 2nd string. Sliding very quickly back. Alright, one more time there from bar 9. Then the accompaniment I used behind the vocals, slowly. So I'm using a G chord by simply fretting, temp rapping the 6th string on the 3rd fret. I learned that from Doug Baker. He does that very often. And that frees up your hands. And so on. You can do all kinds of things which you would normally do when fretting a G chord. So all the stuff also, you know, in the E chord, you can move that up and things like that. But what I did in the verse, bend and go back. Some blind leg there. And those 2 bars, 15 and 16, in the version with vocals, every verse I do something improvised, all kind of licks. I also think I did a tremolo brush, or it's the middle finger that does the strumming there, or and then do to the C. You can keep it simple and use your imagination there. Try to make your own licks there. So again, one more time, bar 15 and 16. Walking into our C. Rather unusual, but it follows the vocals there. First fret, open, and then you go back to the G, fretting the 2nd string, 3rd fret. One more time. Also, I use a lot of ghost notes, but I don't write them in the tab because people then think it's melody notes, and that's not correct. For example, there's the 2nd beat of the 8th measure. There's an open 2nd string, but not loud. It's a good example of one of those ghost notes. Those 2 bars I use throughout the whole song, the same, I think. And then in bar 21, we're going to our D. And now we do a little Blind Lemon Jefferson. Slide to the 5th fret, 2nd string. And the alternating bass goes between the 5th and the 4th string. Slide to the 4th fret, 3rd string, and the D on the 2nd string. And open. I was raised in Texas, school in Tennessee. I was raised in Texas, school in Tennessee. it for the verse. The other variations I did, instead of so bar 21, that's the same, and then I use a D7 chord moved up, and using the alternating bass between 5th and 13th. We're 5th and 4th string. We're implying D chords, of course. That's another one. Same as bar 21, and then none of you women are gonna make a fool out of me. Then the solo, I use different things there, but I'll play it as it is stepped out. So I'm fretting again that 6th string with a rap and going to the 6th fret and bend those notes. G7, C. Diminished, and in the 12 string version I slow that down. One more time in context. That's how it is stepped out, and you can play it at the same speed. And thump, middle, thump, thump, middle, index, thump. Like that. Now we're going to a D on the 6th, 5th and 7th frets. Before, bend, and then and I did a second solo. And the rest is the same. So bass runs. E diminished, moved up to the 6th fret, and then same thing, but not the bend here, on the 8th fret with your pinky. And then I have a, well, strange ending. I remember I did So Different Blues by Mance Lipscomb. If you Google, or if you do a YouTube search on So Different Blues followed by Daddy Stovepipe, you will find the performance video, and there's a lesson also for it. And when Mance recorded that, he was asked, why do you call that So Different Blues? And he simply said, well, because it's different than other blues songs. And indeed, he does some very strange things there. And also, at the ending, he's going into some ragtime, and which has nothing to do with the song which he sang before that. So it's two songs in one. And so I ended that way with some ragtime. So I'm going to the G7. It's your D7 chord moved up to the 7th fret, and the index is added. And I'm playing monotonic bass the whole thing through. So one bar of that chord, and you can use any combination of treble strings. And then I'm going to a B7 bar, of course, same thing, also for 4 beats. And then to E7 for 8 beats, and you can move that chord around. And it is your C7, and you simply move your 2 other fingers to the 1st and the 3rd string, and you move it up to the 7th fret. And then an A, simply a bar, the 3rd string, 6th fret, and the 7th fret added. And you can alternate, well, use your 7th fret, 1st string, or the 5th fret. Then we go into a D7, same shape as the E, but going down for 2 beats, and then for 2 beats it's a D minor, 7, 7, 5, 7 for 1 beat, and back to the D7 and back to our G. So that, of course, you can play it also in the 3rd position chords. Like that, but I chose to play it here. If you're interested in this kind of chording, moving up, so just using the basic chords but up the fretboard, I did a video lesson. It's called Swing Blues, and it uses the standard ragtime progression in C, and after that we play the same thing with chords up the neck, which is a nice variation. Note the muting to get a bit of swing feel. And these are fully formed chords. There's no open strings, so you can simply, by moving up and down your fretting hands, you're gonna mute it. To get that swing feel, those last 2 bars in the tap, it's written like this. That's how you would play it straight. And if you use some ghost notes, like in the last bar, it gets a whole different feel. Alright, that's it for Texas Blues in G. Have fun with it.